Hi everybody. Now let's cover our first topic. We are going to build and deploy our first machine learning apps by using AWS Fargate. You know that we have two solutions in AWS environment. You can deploy your apps using EC2 or Fargate. The main difference is that EC2, your cluster will be managed manually. It is time consuming. Why Fargate? The cluster can be automatically managed. It means that if you want to scale your apps, they can be automated. Now for this work, we are going to use some tool and follow some steps. The first tool will be Python Flask library. As you know, Flask is a package right in Python who helps us to build web page or website. And the second tool will be Pycaret library. Pycaret library is very interesting because it's a low-code solution and they make us automate the workflow of machine learning pipeline. We also use a containerized solution. Here is Docker. Docker is a tool used to build image, and here we will build our web app image. We will also use ECA in the AWS environment. ECA is Amazon Elastic Container Registry, is where our image built by Docker will be stored. And when we construct, build and store our image, we will retrieve this image in our cluster. And to create the cluster, we need a Elastic Container Services ECS, where this tool helps us to create a cluster to launch our task. For this work, we will also need AWS account with a AWS user account with access key ID, with a password ID and the right permission. Very important. We will verify that you have a right permission to avoid any mistake or any error during your pipeline execution. And then you will need at the very end of our tutorial to edit inbound role of the firewall to make that our web app be public on the internet. That you need to edit some role on the firewall, and then we will going to see how to our ML web app make some prediction in the real time. So I will put all the material need to build, to reproduce this pipeline, this work in my GitHub repository. You will find it here. I will put the link in the video, in the description on the video, where you can go and retrieve all the file, Docker file, web app in Python. And you have here a link where you can also see one best tutorial. I recommend you guys, if you can go to look, it's very interesting how you can deploy. It deploy a Streamlit app on AWS Fargate. It's also interesting. If you have time, go and check it. Now let us see what is inside the file. Let us beginning by the insurance CSV file. You have a colon, age, sex, BMI, children, smoker, yes, a categorical feature, smoker, region, sex, categorical feature, and we have numerical change, age, BMI, and change. And the goal of this machine learning is to predict the change, the insurance bill of the patient, depend on this data. As you see here, we have our data, name is insurance. We need to predict the change, depend on the age, sex, BMI, children, smoker, region. This is typically a regression problem. And then our best model built by Pycaret, I will show you in the next coming tutorial how I choose this model. Yeah, grad boost regression model.pkl. I will show you, but believe in me, it's a best one who have a best RMSE, root mean square error. This one is the model who has the low one, and this is done for insurance CSV. Now let us see our environment, very important file. Yeah, document.txt. You know that is very important. Know that I will not dive deep into Flask, Python, also Docker or recommend.txt. I suppose that you get it and you are very comfortable with it. Is why I only show you what is inside. But if you have any question, if you have any issue, you can ask me, you can write me. It will be a very pleasure for me to answer. Here is our recommend.txt. Here is the package that our apps need for running. Here we have Pycaret, and we have the version of the Pycaret is 3.2.0. We also have Flask, Vertex, and Unicorn. Unicorn is the production server. Okay, we need it when you deploy your model or your web app in the production environment. And now let us look a Docker file. As you know, when you build a Docker image, you need a Docker file, and here it is our Docker file. You have the Python version 3.9. You have here some instruction. We copy requirement.txt, copy app.py, copy our model and put it in our image template with home HTML, CSS. We also copy style CSS style and a config.py. Let's see it later. We run it to install the requirement. As I showed you before, we need to indicate which port is open where our app will be listening. Here is 8080 form, and you need to run our application in production. CMD Unicorn, yes, as I mentioned, in production is Unicorn, but when we are in development environment you use Flask. Okay, but yeah, this is the run. That is because I comment this line, because I use it in my development environment to test before deploy our model, or before put this model, this web app in the production. This is why we have a lot of dash. Okay, now let us see here the config.py. What is inside config.py is the instruction for the port, which port for our web app to listen. We have the debug mode, you know that, which means I suppose, and Unicorn config. Yeah, is a formula used in the cloud provider, many cloud. You have the number of core times 2 plus 1, and we leave 1 core free for overhead, and this is what the config.py does. After that, let us see our apps, Flask app. We have model, we have our column, 8x BMI children smoker region. We have our root here, HTML home. We have our root predict. When we have given every test set colon predict, and here we make our prediction. This is the API. And where is the template? What is inside the template? home.html. So web pages, predict insurance bill. We have our colon, age, sex, BMI, children, smoker, region, and we have the button submit here. We click on predict, and they will call this one thread. Is inside the thread, the app.py. Okay, and you have here still CSS to make some customization color, I don't know, in our HTML page. Now let's see the different steps in more detail. For the beginning, you need to launch Docker. Here is my Docker. I have already launched it. Yeah, as you can see, this is my Docker. It's Docker desktop version engine. You have container image. I suppose you know it. And then let's go back to our file. Open a git batch. We need to work in git batch. Here is our bash shell. Open here. Okay, and create a virtual environment. Yeah, I can list all my virtual environment. Remember that I use a Conda, not Python, but Conda environment. On Conda, make a Conda env list. I will have a list of all my virtual environment I have already created. It's take a bit time. And there we have yeah, I think is it Fargate AWS environment. Okay, see it. I already created. Okay, Fargate AWS env. Okay, you need to, if you don't create it, you need to create. You need to, and here I will activate it. Conda activate. It was Fargate AWS env. This is my virtual environment. Is activated. You need to create a virtual kernel. First install pkernel. As you see, pip install epkernel. You need to install epkernel, and then you create a Pycaret env kernel. This is my Pycaret env kernel. This is my customized kernel. Okay, to avoid some conflict with the Python installing on my computer. After it, you need to install AWS CLI command line for AWS. I think I have already installed, but this is the command who allow you to do it. I will check if I already installed AWS command line. I just type AWS dot version to see the version, which version I have installed. This is the version 1.32.39. okay, it's already installed on my virtual environment. Here Fargate AWS env in my pkernel env. Okay, when it's done, we can check with it, and you need to configure your AWS account. You need access key ID, very important. You need that access key ID. You need the password. You need the region. I need the format. Okay, I will tab here AWS configure. Let me make it very big to you to see. AWS configure. You see here, you need to provide AWS AWS access key ID. Okay, and then you need to provide a secret ID. Also need to provide our region. What's your region name? You can see here, this is my region name, EU West 3, and the default format of our output is JSON. Okay, that is done. Okay, now when you are already connected to the AWS account, to your account, please, this step can be very difficult. If you have any issue about to connect to your AWS account, please you can write me or you can send me a message. It will be a great pleasure for me to answer to you. Okay, feel free to ask me some question, because I know that here for the first time it can be very tricky. Okay, let's continue on. I suppose that you succeed to access to your AWS account. Then we will build our Docker image. To build our Docker image, you need this command, docker build-t. This is the name of my container, David Fargate container. Latest the version. You can put here v1 or v2 space and dot. You make it, and then here you can tag your image, okay, before you push it on your ECR, Elastic Container Registry. And then here you push your image into the ECR repository, as you see here. Okay, this is the command that allows us to push the image into the ECR repository in AWS environment. And then you can go into Amazon ECR repository to see the image. Let's go there. Where is the ECR? We search ECR here. ECR container registry. Okay, we click there. You can see here, this is our container. Inside this container we have our image. Okay, remember that our name of container was David Fargate container. Okay, we can click inside and we see here our image like this. Okay, artifact type is image. That is done. Let's go back to our roadmap. Is here, I think. Okay, we see our image. Then we are going inside the Amazon Elastic Container Services to create and manage our cluster. Okay, let's go there. It's ECSE, Elastic Container Services. Okay, and there we can see our cluster. I already created a cluster, but you can see here, you can create your cluster here. Okay, Fargate, the name of our cluster is David Fargate cluster, and inside my cluster, as you can see, it's active. Okay, my cluster is active. I have a task definition. You click here. If you want to launch a new task, you can click here and you create a new task definition. Yeah, I already created this new task definition. Call it, as you can see here, insurance apps, and you can see I create two active. This is the second one. Yeah, with is the task type 512 units. Okay, of CPU. Very small task manager. Okay, and let's go back to the ACE cluster and click to the cluster. Okay, it's running. Click to the task to see which task is running. We have here our task running, and we can see here we have two task running. What we can do, we will delete the first task. It was insurance apps 1. Let's go back here and click to the insurance apps and select insurance apps 1, and yeah, what we can do, action, deregister, delete it. Okay, it was successful deregister. Okay, and let's go back to our cluster, click it here, pending. Why is pending? Because one running. Okay, okay, click the task, you see it's running. Yeah, it's insurance app 2. We click here in the insurance app 2, and here you can see our public IP. Okay, where we can go to manage the firewall. Let me see in my roadmap where we can go. It's here, my roadmap. It's here. Okay, it's here. When we have created our task definition, we go to the any ID. Let's go back there and see where is any ID. Click here in the task. No cluster, task. Click here. Yeah, it's here. Okay, click any ID, and then when you are there, you click to the security group here, and you can edit inbound road. Yeah, we have 2 roles we have already created. We have a customer TCP for AT&T, all IP network. Okay, and here we have also a HTTP connection and the port 18. This allows us to access externally to this app. Okay, let's go back here and open our apps. Let's see our apps. If I add the port AT&T, I click, this is our apps. This is a good. We have deployed our web apps, ML web apps, that allow us to predict the change of our patient based on the age of the patient, the sex, the BMI, the children, the number of children, if our patient smoke or not, and in which region they is located. Let's try an example. We will take a patient, age of 14, sex male, BMI 32, children number of children 2, smoker no, region northeast, and I will create predict. Here you can see here the expected bill of the insurance here, $9,195. This is the bill, the annual bill this patient will be pay for the insurance charge. Okay, that is the end of our first tutorial, in which we see how we deploy our web app, ML web app, based on the AWS Fargate, which is a serverless solution. Thank you guys. We will see for the next time another tutorial on the MLOps tool and tips.